Saif El-Deeb watched the noisy trio of American boys cross the street away from Cairo American College. The international school had just let out for the afternoon, and the sound of privileged children laughing about their day mingled with the horns of waiting drivers and taxis trying to navigate the afternoon congestion. "Saif, will you send your child to this school?" The old man behind the wooden counter of the koshk laughed at his own question, causing his cigarette at his lips to bounce. Saif ignored the vendor as the man continued chuckling while he straightened the rows of chips and snacks. Toying with the metal band around his finger, Saif shook his head, mostly to himself. The vendor already knew the answer, which was why he was laughing. CAC was a private school with a tuition rate only the wealthiest Egyptians could afford. And foreigners, especially Americans. Or the grandchildren of the former president. Saif eyed the 12-foot cement wall surrounding the school. Iron paling embedded at the top gave the impression of a fortress, as did the private security officers positioned at the front and rear entrances to monitor every student, parent, and visitor entering or leaving. Their presence had doubled since the protests against President Talat began more than a year ago. A promise by both the school and the president that these children would be kept safe at all costs. A fortress of education and protection Saif's son or daughter would never know. Lighting his own cigarette, Saif stepped aside as the 3 American boys walked up to the street kiosk and purchased candy. One of them, a blonde, set the Egyptian bill on the worn and splintered counter just as a breeze came through, lifting the money into the air. The boys laughed as the old man scrambled for it, none of them helping as they took their candy and walked away. Saif hurried, following the money as it floated in the air over the busy intersection. Ignoring the blaring horns and shouts, he stepped into the street and caught the bill before it flew farther away. "Shukran." The vendor thanked him before tucking the money into a box. "These kids do not know how fortunate they are. Allah has blessed them, and they forget it can be taken away." Taking a long drag from his cigarette, Saif continued to watch the boys make their way to a large, white Toyota Sequoia.